Is it running?
It's like.
Oh, here, take this.
No.
Hey,
Rich, you're on.
I'll be right there. There's a leak in my basement. Hold on.
Did the moderator just leave?
For real? I love that Bonnie wears the slacks and the Paula Poundstone blazer in that relationship, and it makes me happy.
All right, well.
You take over, Noam.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly. We're here with Mike Yard, Peter Brennan, Rachel Feinstein, Rich Voss is on his way. Robert Kelly doesn't look like he's coming. Hopefully Liz is gonna come. Someone else will drop in. What's up, guys? What's going on?
I love that everybody's pretending that they have somewhere to be. Where in God's name does Bobby is definitely at Home Depot right now, and it's infuriating me.
I'm just gonna text here.
This is the problem, man. These guys are not following social distancing.
So Mike Yard.
Yes.
What's it been like being Mike Yard for the last 2 weeks?
Boring as hell, man. This is insane, Noam.
You just staying in?
I've never been paranoid about anything like this in my life. This thing has me paranoid, bro. Like, I'm like barely going out. If I go to the supermarket, I have a spray bottle with alcohol in it. Like, I'm like spraying alcohol on my face, my hand. This thing is scary, man.
Do you have a mask?
I just got my mask in the mail, bro.
Let me see. That's not an N95 mask, is it?
I don't know what it is. It's a mask.
Dude, no, you need one with a respirator.
No, you don't need that one. You just need to cover your face.
I have the N95.
You don't need that.
What?
I have the N95 since my husband's a fireman. He gave me one N95, but it's getting kind of jacked up. It's a little trifling. Like I'm reusing it too much. There's a sadness to it.
But that's the thing. You can't keep reusing. Where the hell is Boss?
It's all I got. You guys, none of this is okay. I needed this so badly tonight. I painted my face for like an hour. I plastered an active lie on myself because I needed this.
Well, you look hot.
Thanks, no, I need that. I mean, I miss comics so much. I want to go mock everything and be an asshole with assholes.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Just not even just being in the house because, it's whatever. My neighborhood is quiet, so it's not really like, social distancing is easy to do over here. But it's just like that whole vibe being in the club, man. You don't know how much you need it until you don't have it anymore, man.
I know.
So, Mike, let me ask you, because I've been asking people all week. If they were to tomorrow say that we can reopen, would you go down and perform even with all the scariness around you?
Reopen? It depends on who said it. If Cuomo said it, yes. If Trump said it, no.
If Cuomo said it.
If Cuomo said it, I would give him, to me right now, he just seems to have all the credibility in the world, man.
I know. Yeah, if Fauci said it, yeah, I do a sweet 10. I do a clean 10 for Fauci.
They're not going to tell you that there's no more risk. They're just going to tell you that there's a lot less or something. I don't know. I mean,
you just walk in, do your set and walk out. I was looking in my living room last night thinking, how many seats can I get in here in case I have to do shows at my house?
It's insane, man.
You just walk in.
Look, I was there when they tried to do do half capacity. I was there. And Corona was real then, and I came and did the last Friday and Saturday shows.
That was kind of dumb, right?
I haven't had the flu since I was maybe in 10 or 11 years old. So, I don't really think about that. But since I've been in the house, and every time you turn on the TV now, I go on the Weather Channel app, and you see everything has COVID-19. I open up my Bleacher Report app to check out my Jets and what they're doing, and there's COVID-19 shit.
Every alert on my phone is sends me into a wild depression. I swear to God, my last alert on my phone was what it's like to die lonely, and I almost opened it.
Oh God!
No, this is not okay. You guys, I am pregnant with gestational diabetes, I'm in a dark place. I got excited today to go to the store in an N94 mask or whatever it's called, N95, and make a diabetes cake. That's when it's really time to kill yourself. When you're pumped about making a diabetes cake.
I had a fix behind one of my gutters, and I go, oh, this is going to be fun today. I went and bought some sheet metal. I cut it, and now I have a leak in my basement. My plumbing
Corona.
Yeah, part of my plumbing is screwed up, and now I got to have whatever. Going to Lowe's or Home Depot is a highlight now. That's a highlight.
Aren't you scared of having to call a repair guy to the house now?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not gonna lick them. Is
that how you get it? Is that why everybody's sick?
Yes.
Hey guys.
That's when you realize you have no friends, is when you're 8 months pregnant and you have to move in the middle of Corona. No one loves me, but it's official.
We love you, Rachel. Tell her we love you.
Wait, you had to move?
We have to move. We got a 2-bedroom because we need a room for the baby, and we already paid. We already started the lease on it. We're not going to be able to rent this place, a 1-bed, which we own, but it's like, no one wants it now. They're fleeing. I mean, people don't want to come anywhere near this place.
Yeah. They don't want us anywhere either. They're like shutting New Yorkers out. Like they're going door to door searching for New York plates and other states. It's crazy.
You got to take the train to Rhode Island.
They are kicking us out of Rhode Island. I mean, how dare they?
You know what bothers me, Mike, and I, we talked about this on one of the other shows. I really feel like our local government here, both the governor and the mayor, they screwed up here. They didn't shut it down when they needed to. Even
everybody did.
No, Ohio, San Francisco, a lot of places were shut a full week before New York was without even any cases. And then they half capacity in the club. Like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean that? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we're really in, waist deep now. And it doesn't seem like it had to be that way.
But that's what happens when you live in a capitalist society, man. They think about revenue first before they think about people. So they were trying to do this without losing as much revenue as they're going to lose. That's why they tried to do it that way, piecemeal.
So why did other states
about money first?
Well, except that like we have De Blasio is like a socialist. He's a far left guy, and the governor of Ohio is a Republican. So why did the Republican governor shut down a week while the mayor was still encouraging people to go out? I
don't know. I was in Florida and there were 400 people at the shows, and they weren't there for me. They were there because they were like out. So people were out everywhere.
Yeah, out in LA the week before the shutdown, all the clubs were packed every single night because people were working from home and they just needed to go somewhere to get out. They were like, all right, we're going to social distance during the day, and then at night we're going to go out and get drunk and sit with a bunch of people.
Yeah, I was doing shows in Florida. I'm not name dropping, but I was playing at Captain Brian's Fish Shack in Florida in front of some bait and tackle. And on the way home, in the middle of the weekend, I realized like I have to stop performing. I'm not coming. I just canceled my shows on Saturday. I talked to like some infectious disease specialist that my friend hooked me up with, and he was like, no, don't go. So then when I flew home, it was like the weirdest time to fly. And there was this couple on the plane. I'm not kidding you guys, with their 4 kids. And they were like, you're going to New York City? And I was like, yeah, we're on the same flight. And they were like, we're going to see the Statue of Liberty. Do you know how much it costs to get a ticket? I'm like, you're going sightseeing in the middle of an active quarantine. People are wild morons.
Yeah. It's
a family of 5.
The Statue of Liberty had a mask on.
What's it going to cost? It's going to cost you $17 and your life. That's
I'm not making this up. And he was like nudging my seat, no face mask, nothing. I'm like, don't splash Corona on me, first of all. And my husband was like, yeah, buddy, I don't think the Statue of Liberty is open. And he just blinked, like just blank it, like no idea. Bringing his fucking family here.
Oh my God.
Oh, hey, there was a story and I couldn't read all of it because it would have freaked me out. But in New Orleans, like rats are running wild now because there's no people on the street to scare them off. Do you think that's going to happen in New York? Just to give you guys a little more anxiety.
Yeah, it sounds like it would.
That's already happening in New York. Have you been on these streets?
I know, but now there's no one to scare him. You know, I don't know.
Rats ain't scared of us in New York.
What's that?
Rats
Oh,
ain't
they're
scared
not
of
scared of
humans in New York, man.
I know. I never even liked germ movies, you guys. I hate that we're now inside of a germ movie. That wasn't even a genre I like. Like if we're gonna be in a movie, like the germ people were right. They get to be right, and that infuriates me. I never cared about germs. Were you guys germ people? I never care. I'll sit by
I never gave a shit about this stuff. Like I just realized how much I didn't wash my hands before. I was a nasty motherfucker before.
I know. I'm a deeply foul
now I'm
person.
scrubbing like I'm preparing for surgery every few hours.
And no, when you were talking about, you know, closing down New York versus the whole state of Ohio, there's probably more employees in New York City alone than the whole state of Ohio. So, you know, you're shutting down, you know, the stock, you know, Wall Street, you know, there's so much more that a mayor has to look and more pressure of shutting down New York City than shutting down any other city or state.
That's not an easy thing, man.
What's that?
You're right. It's not an easy thing to shut down a city like this. You got 8 million people here, man. You can't just say, all right, everybody go home.
Yeah, yes and no, but there were certain things like the limiting to events of 500 people or more. I mean, canceling events 500 people or more. That was like, there's probably like 10,000 people who were going to get together and 500 people or more, like a few Broadway shows or something. And there was probably like a few million people who were gathering in events of 50 or more. And they didn't shut those down. And, you know, while the CDC was recommending 50 or more, and I just think they blew it. I was emailing, the schools weren't closed, and I took my kids out of school 10 days early. And I was emailing the superintendent of schools in my town, and they're like, well, the state, you know, the state controls that. Now it's true. They had some real issues with the schools because the schools are also like daycare.
Yeah.
So I understand the predicament, but it's kind of like, you know, Roy Scheider, the sheriff in Jaws, you know, when he doesn't shut the beaches down and the woman shows up and slaps him across the face and says, you knew, and now my son is dead. Like that's what they're paid to do, is make the tough decisions. Shut the fucking place down. There were people like Yasha Mounk in the Atlantic. There were people in other states that were doing this. And while our mayor was recommending for us to go out, have a good time, you know, just be a little careful, wash your hands.
But I don't think they unilaterally made that choice, though. I mean, they had to consult with like medical experts and whatever. And this was coming from the CDC. Like, these are the people we go to for these things, right? And if they're saying, hey, this is how you operate from, you know, for right now.
No, I'm saying they were exceeding the CDC was already recommending smaller groups, and New York insisted on larger groups.
But what about the mayor? You're saying the mayor, wouldn't the governor trump the mayor? Wouldn't
and
the governor say?
Think about criticizing the governor now because he's doing such a good job that you feel bad criticizing him. I mean, you know, he has 87% approval rating, and I get it because he's obviously straightforward and honest, and there's like nothing you could say bad about him. Yet he still might have made some real mistakes.
And it was de Blasio. It was de Blasio that wanted to keep the schools open too. Fucking de Blasio and his shit.
Yes. But then later on in the week, if you recall, de Blasio then wanted to order a shelter in place, and the governor resisted that.
Yeah, and it also didn't help that half the news outlets were just calling it a hoax. That also wasn't particularly.
No, that did not contribute to it. That was.
You don't think that
I don't think Governor Cuomo's watching Fox News. I don't think.
I'm not talking about Cuomo. I'm talking about the population.
Right, yeah. But I'm saying that listen, I don't know how much blame you want to put on somebody, but there is a pretty basic truth that if they had shut down New York when Ohio shut down, or when people were writing articles urging them to shut it down, we would be in somewhat of a better situation now. I'm not saying it would be no corona around, but we'd be like 2 weeks ahead of the curve. And, you know, it bothers me that they did that because it was pretty obvious to me. I don't mean to sound arrogant. It was pretty obvious to me. They needed to shut it down. They can't. What they would do is they would wait until like we don't shut the school down until we have a report of somebody showing up to the school with the virus. Meaning we don't shut it down until it's too late. We have to wait till it's actually in the school, till everybody's exposed for a whole day or maybe a few days till we actually test somebody positive, and then we'll shut it down. No, you shut it down because it's inevitable. You know it's inevitable. So you shut it down before you get the fucking kid who has the virus.
I think we should keep it open and keep the churches open and all cram in the churches to show Jesus that we love Jesus.
Let's just pray it away.
And if you're worried about people spreading it, you don't limit it to 500 or more. You have 10 events of 50 or more is the same as one event of 500 or more. Every restaurant has 50 people
go away
or more.
is if we pack the churches.
Then why didn't you close the club down?
You know
what? Pack the churches. Jesus will make this disappear. This nasty cold will go away if Jesus coughs on top of it.
Did you guys hear about the pastor that was driving around to pick people up to bring them to church?
Oh my God.
Well, one just got
I
arrested.
Mike, I want to answer your question because it's a good question. I don't want to look like I didn't answer it. So I was really worried about closing the club or not and the moral issue of it. And I reached out to like a doctor at NYU and a few people, and they were like, no, it's okay. You follow the CDC. And then I spoke to some other people, and they, especially an author, like a national writer, and he said, no, I think you should close. I think it's the morally correct thing to do. So I told Liz 2 days before they gave the order that we're going to close starting Monday. And then during that time, they did close everything anyway. But yeah, I actually feel weird, but it was like cognitive dissonance because it seemed so obvious to me. But then if the governor and the mayor are saying we don't have to close, it's like, well, what do they know that I don't know? Truth is, there was nothing they didn't know. I mean, there was nothing they knew.
If their experts are telling them this is how you move forward, then
I don't believe they had any experts telling them that.
You believe they unilaterally made that decision, just them not being medical act? That would be a kind of job malpractice, wouldn't it be that?
Yeah, I think it might.
I don't know, but I've never
De Blasio
cared
for sure. De Blasio
I've never
for
cared
sure.
for De Blasio one bit, but I'm actively aroused by Mario Cuomo.
Oh yeah, when he said like the thing about ventilators, you choose who's gonna die. I was like, oh, I want to freeze my eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Great, right?
Stick it in. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, stick it in.
No, what I'm saying, Mike,
nervous and shit.
Mike,
like he
I'm
just did
saying
a
that-
line.
I'm saying that good people make mistakes too, just like the mayor, and just like the sheriff in Jaws. And good Lincoln made terrible mistakes in the beginning of the Civil War. And
Have you been on a Jaws marathon?
a what?
Have you just been watching Jaws all day on Netflix?
I
What the
did.
fuck
I
uses
did watch
Jaws
it.
as a reference?
I know.
But I think they blew it. I think they blew it.
Yeah.
I think
He said in
everybody did,
Finding
man, from
Nemo.
the top down, bro. The president blew it when they were telling him to take this seriously, and he was saying it was a hoax by the Democrats to ruin his chance at re-election. And then it just trickled down all the way through, you know, because we're America and we don't fuck Corona. That's a Chinese issue.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody was like, it's
We're
only
so
because they
fucking
snack.
tough.
They were just blaming it. You're right. We think we're invincible. We're a bunch of dummies. We're like, it's just the Chinese people ate some bad snacks. They were snacking on bats in a market, so it's their problem. No, it's not. But we think we really do. We think we're the shit. I mean, I know I'm an asshole personally. I never believed in germs or anything like that. I'm a moron. I can only speak for myself. I'm an active moron. I thought I was invincible.
You don't.
So
you
here's
don't know
an example. I'm reading. So Cuomo, they asked him on CNN why he's not closing school. He says Cuomo said he makes his decisions based on science and data, and then he says as the numbers continue to increase, the restrictions need to increase. And I'm like, no, the restrictions need to increase before that, so that the numbers don't increase. He's actually basically saying, as it gets bigger, then we'll restrict more, and that never. I don't think that ever made any sense. I can't believe any doctor ever would say that made sense. It just,
we're also looking at it from the perspective of people that don't have to deal with the logistics that he has to deal with when it comes to shutting down a system as big as New York State. I mean,
okay, but here's the thing. You're right. But the problem is this. It's not just that they didn't close it down. When when they say we only have to close down events of 500 or more, the consequences are not just that the rest of us go out in 50 or more events. It's that, or 500 or less events. It's that it also sends a signal to us. This is serious, but it's not that serious. You don't have to go crazy about this. You don't have to inconvenience yourself too much. He could have said, listen, we're canceling all events of 500 or more, but we really suggest all of you stay home unless you have a very good reason to go out. They never said anything like that.
Saying, though.
So that everybody was piling into places, bars, restaurants, clubs, and it wasn't people were not getting the message, especially in the context of stuff the mayor was saying, like, you need to have extended close contact with each other and you really can't get this, and don't worry, go out, have a good time. The fucking mayor was saying, go out, have a good time.
Yeah.
Now, no doctor told him to say that. I think that there's this urge, again, I think Cuomo especially is a good man, but I think that there's this urge to not want to call out a mistake if it's made by somebody who we love and we think is good. But I think there's some really big mistakes that were made here, and I resent it because, you know, a lot of people are sick. They fucking should have closed this down earlier.
Well, but also too, people are uninformed. No one's really listening to the mayor or the governor until it's shut down. They're doing what they're doing. No one's sitting on TV going, "Oh, the mayor said we can go out." They're going out. I also too think, like, you took responsibility. It was also up to what do you call it? Either club owners or store owners or people on their own to make that decision. You don't sit and wait and let a mayor or a governor. You have to make your own decisions in life, what you're going to do with your business. Does that make a little sense?
A lot of
Yeah,
sense.
I think, and also I just want to make fun of whatever Keith's shirt is right now. I just want to look at Keith's dumb top and yell at it. I can't take this anymore.
Yes.
I really can't. I need the table. I'm not well.
Yes. That's what last week when I was on Inside Edition, that's what I spoke about. Just not even doing comedy, is hanging out with comics. And that's what you really miss. I mean, besides being on stage, but just sitting there and just looking at dumb Keith or dumb Bobby and smashing them and go, "Oh, that was a fun night." You know.
I know. It really drives home, like, how I have no other skills. I'm so non-essential in every way. And it hurts.
It's
I
so
got
true.
So what is your skill?
What's that?
It's so
All I can do is mock shit. I got nothing, you guys. I have nothing to offer the workforce. It's not okay.
How do you think we come back from this?
I don't know.
Do you think people are going to want to hear about coronavirus when we first come back from this, or do you think they'll be done with it?
I feel like it's going to change the way everybody talks, and there's going to be all these annoying terms, pre-corona, post-corona terms. There's going to be, it's just like nothing will be the same. I mean, we're dressed like bank robbers. What the fuck is going on?
I know.
I'm saying, is the club experience going to change?
Oh, yeah, that scares me.
Comedy clubs are tight, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a lot of clubs. The road clubs. Oh, sorry. The road clubs, you don't even know if you're going to get back in them. You know, what are they going to do? Who are they going to bring in? Because the big acts are not going to be able to go to theaters now because they're going to be, you know, whatever, closed down or booked a year in advance. So are the big acts going to push, you know, acts like whatever? It's going to be a whole nother. I know club owners that have been talking to each other going, what the hell are we going to do?
Acts like me.
No, I wanted to say like you guys because I'm a big act. What I'm saying is,
see the shoes in the background, Rich. I see all that. I see your Jordan flex in the background. I see that.
Yeah,
it's not even his. He borrowed it.
I want to say this one last thing, just so it does everybody thinks I'm crazy now. Shut up about this. So I just want to call everybody's attention. If you're at home, look at this article here. You can see it here by Yasha Max from March 10th called "Cancel Everything." Now, The Atlantic is a pretty influential magazine, and he says a lot of things here which really were dead on. He predicted the whole thing exactly right, and he says anyone in a position of power, instead of downplaying the dangers of the virus, should ask people to stay away from public places, cancel gatherings, restrict forms of not essential. And then he says at the very end, somewhere it says cancel everything now. And that was a good, like 2 weeks, maybe not 2, a good week before it became obvious. And a week is a tremendously important head start here. So go ahead. I'm done.
Well,
I knew something was up when they canceled my baby shower, and it hurt. No one cared about my baby shower.
Oh.
Now I have to walk around Brooklyn in a floral dress and like cut my bump, and people look at me with such sadness, and I need the attention.
And
I saw a girl.
Can I cheer everybody up?
What's that?
I want to cheer everybody up though.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
You know what? You know what does give me hope? This is definitely not stopped Ray from deceiving women. He's definitely lying to a 25-year-old right now, and I find that calming.
Where is he at? Like some sort of meth den?
Wall?
I don't know. That must be the background behind his bed, but like,
Does he live in a train station?
I've been to his building before. He lives in a nice building. Why would he decorate his apartment like a crack den?
What?
No, I think he sleeps in front of a green screen.
Is that a green?
That's hilarious.
So you can tell his girlfriend he's in a different place.
Oh
yeah. I'm in
God,
Aruba right now. Yeah.
He's definitely stroking some young girl's ass right now, going, you know, the worst part of it is, as an artist, I'm not able to do what I do.
Yeah. Cockblock.
That makes me have hope.
Oh, that was really funny, Rachel. All right. That cheered you up, right?
Yeah,
It did.
It did. Tonight, when I make love to my wife, I'm going to think of that video right there.
Please, you ain't made love to your wife in how long?
It was like, well, it was her birthday Saturday, so a couple days before that. I don't know if you call it making love.
So
she said
being in quarantine, have you figured out if you still like her or not?
I didn't like her before quarantine. We didn't like. No, I mean, look, you know, we have.
There's a lot of people realizing that they do not like the person they're with right now.
Oh yeah, we get along. I mean, we have so much to do during the day. You know, working on the yard, or she's writing, or whatever, doing interviews. So we're trying to keep as busy as we possibly can. You kind of feel guilty going, how come I don't have like some kind of video show online now? You know what I mean? You're going, what else can I do? Or, I mean, what else can I do to be productive? Because you don't want to
every
have
day I'm like, how can I spin it? How can I spin it?
I'm getting really good at NBA 2K.
Well, everybody right at the beginning of this was like, there's going to be 300 million people at home captive. You got to put out content. And then have you seen some of the content? They would have been better off not putting out content. So it's better off. You're way better off to just maybe be thoughtful and think about what you want to do and then put it out. Because we're in this for a while. There's going to be people that are going to see your content. So put out good content.
You guys, pretty soon you're going to see me in a variety of wigs, and it's not going to be good. I'm going to pull out a hat box and do some really bad fun-loving characters.
When is your due date, Rachel? May
20th.
Oh, wow.
May 20th. And when do you guys move?
We move this week.
Are you going to have to put a lot of primer over that green? That looks like a chore.
That's the weird man color he painted this room. I mean, there were such unacceptable things up on the walls when I got here. There was like a washcloth with 4 pins in it. It was, there's still remnants of his weird man choices.
What's your game plan for delivery without, in a hospital? Like, where you're going to go to be safe?
Well, I was at New York Presbyterian. And then actually Schumer helped me move to Lenox Hill because they banned partners.
Amy Schumer, not Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, Amy Schumer. But then, so Amy helped me move hospitals, but because I'm not going to go back because New York Presbyterian is like, I don't know. There's a lot of, there's Corona splashed all over it. So my plan is to go to Lenox Hill and we have a private room. And I just, he's on medical leave right now. Oh, she's so cute. He's on medical leave because he hurt his shoulder in a fire. So I'm actually hoping they keep him on medical leave and there's something really messed up with his shoulder, because I'm so afraid of him going back in, like, because it's one thing. It's like, I think if any of us got corona, we could probably have a sweet comeback, but like my immune system is already pretty worn down when you're pregnant, and I don't want to splash corona on the baby. It's
no,
crazy.
you don't.
Yeah. So
He actually has kind of a safe job. Most people are like, is there hand sanitizer at your workspace? And he's like, no, but there's fire. The fire will burn the corona.
You want to see my daughter do the renegade?
What's that?
So cute. If I told her to go upstairs, she wouldn't, but I say, do the renegade, and she walks right away.
Renegade, 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 renegade.
She's a TikTok fiend. I mean, all she does is TikTok. She's dancing. Anyway, sorry.
Same with my kid. It's crazy. My kid did a thing on TikTok, got 2 million views. I've been in this business for 36 years. I couldn't get 2 million views with everything.
Can you send me the link to that? I want to show my daughter.
Yeah, I can try to find it. I actually follow Raina on TikTok.
Oh, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a hit. I was talking to Bonnie, and Bonnie was like, because I'm getting kind of big on TikTok. I don't want to brag, but she was like, oh, you should follow Raina, and then she gave me her TikTok.
Isn't TikTok for kids? Isn't it for like kids?
Well, it's for kids, and then it's also for their moms. And guess who's got all the eyeballs of the moms? Yeah.
You gotta, oh God.
Can you bring a TikTok video up on a desktop, or you have to have only the app?
Wait, what'd you say, no?
Oh,
can I bring a TikTok video up on my desktop computer, or I need the app?
There, you can do a TikTok video on your desktop, but let me see if I can send you.
Email me the link, or text.
Yeah, let me see if I can email it to you.
Did you start TikTok when the Boy Scouts?
No, are you guys selling food? Are you doing like takeout?
No
we're
way.
not.
You
just fully shut down?
We should have, but I mean, maybe we should have, but it was just to undertake that and be sucked into that. I didn't want to do it. I mean,
I only eat what we cook here.
You don't even, but at least I'm just closed and I can just relax a little bit in that sense, as opposed to having to start calling in, how many orders of hummus did we sell today? Like, to make $30 or something. I just don't want to do it. It's very tough.
I would never eat out now. We cook all our food. I'm kind of scared to get something from a restaurant. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. I'm kind of like on Amazon every day though. I go, oh, what can I get today just to fill this empty hole?
I know, but even the Amazon, me too. But the Amazon orders are getting lost now. It's like, that hurts more than anything. And also like the vein stuff. Like it's like, what hurts even less or even more than like the social contact is like, I realize like I need somebody to paint my nail. Now I'm a deep asshole, but like, I'm like, fuck, people are about to see what I look like.
Okay. Paint your nails. I would worry about that room first. I just ordered a crossbow today from Amazon.
Get ready for The Walking Dead.
I've had survival packs for years. I've had tons of stuff. I'm ready to go.
Oh no! All the firemen are collecting guns and ammo right now. It's a lot. It's a lot.
The only thing stopping pure riots and anarchy in the streets is the fact that grocery stores are still open. The second grocery stores are shut down.
You're right.
Sorry.
Game over. Game over. It's going to be a madhouse if they shut grocery stores down, because people are just going to go berserk. You got to have
People
food.
are losing their mind anyway. I went to who is that? Oh, that's your daughter, boss?
That is. What is she doing up there?
Can they see it?
I think this is one of her accounts. I think so this is who this is her account that I follow. But if it's anything like like Raina has been on Instagram. She has like 9 accounts. But I know from the days
News to you, boss?
What's that?
Is this news to you that your daughter got like 9 accounts?
Well, I'm kind of glad. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to say any names, but there's certain people you don't want her to just follow her on one account. You know, you want to make these pedophiles work for it. You know what I mean? To go from one account to the other.
Do you do you monitor her online? Like, how do you know she's not talking? How old is she?
12.
So how do you keep her safe online?
Well, she's smart enough to know right from wrong.
Really?
And yeah, it really is. She's smart enough. And 2, you know, I just make sure, you know, that she doesn't cross the line when she does her web series. You know,
that sounds like a foolproof plan you got there.
No, I mean, you're gonna walk on. You can't. How do you monitor a kid? You stand over her the whole time.
I started following my friend's son on Instagram, and then I was like, you know, your 10-year-old son is following ginormous tits on Instagram. She was like, what?
And he was like,
so
yes!
adorable.
My daughter wants to say something. What do you want to say?
So the way my dad keeps track of what I'm doing, so he downloads this app. So whenever I download anything on my iPad or phone, he can see what I do. He can see what I download and see everything.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Bonnie has that. Bonnie does that.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying, she says.
Bonnie's in charge of child security.
Yeah, Bonnie does that because I have 2 older daughters. This is really Bonnie's
I think, or do you do that with Bonnie? Are you thinking about what you do with Bonnie?
No, I would love to put a video camera on the road. That would be like, are you kidding me? Oh my God. As long as she's not with a middle.
Wait, you guys, Liz told me to bring Pete on. Should I get him if anybody has any fireman questions?
Yeah,
Where's
please.
Liz?
All right, hold on. I don't know. I miss Liz. I thought I was going to get to see Liz.
Yeah, Liz, where are you? I've been texting you.
Where in God's name is, hold on. I'm going to get him.
By the way, Rich, are you homeschooling?
Well, yeah, we do. She has school online through her school.
What's she been teaching you?
Well, she gets her assignments every. That's funny. Where she, oh, look who just woke up. Hey, Jimmy Fallon, did you hear that one? Hey, Jimmy, tune in. I'm going to be on. Shut up. Listen to me. She gets her. She wakes up and goes to school in the morning, and she gets all her, goes through different subjects, classes, and whatever, and does all of her assignments. You know, she's a straight A student. So I'm lucky. I have a smart kid, and my wife is such a hands-on wife. You know, she's really smart when it comes to that. So I'm lucky. You know, if it was up to me, my kid, what are you kidding me? She'd be selling meth by now.
Hey, if you guys want to bring your kids by the firehouse, if you ever want to come to the firehouse, sweetie.
Not for another 3 months.
Yeah,
you're right. Never mind.
My old house burned down, and my kid was sitting in the bed as the flames went up the side of the condo. I don't know if she's really big on fire trucks and stuff. I think it would bring back bad memories to her. She, was sitting in the bed, and my wife said, "Hey, look, our house is burning," and she ran out of the house with the kid.
Oh, well, God, that was meant to be a fun-loving question. But thanks.
That's a good twist.
Let's talk about
We were
kidney
supposed to be
removal.
cheering people up.
Firehouse.
Rich, do you ever get mad at her and just send her fire emojis via text?
Okay, so firemen, I think it's a little like comics. You know how people always say the same stuff to us, like, "Oh, are you going to put this in your act?" Or they try to go like, "I was the funny one. I am the funny friend." They do the same shit with them, but it's like cat in a tree and shit, right? Like, what do they always ask you as a fireman?
Yep. Cat in the tree's the big one. And
If
does the city pay for your meals? Which they do not.
I would say, do you know anybody that made a calendar, that made it onto a calendar?
Oh, the calendar
Fireman
boys?
calendar.
That's like their own special breed
Why you
right
turn on the
there.
lights? I'm doing something.
It's like a different, like they're all about the calendar.
Guess who didn't pay their electric bill? The owner of the club.
Come say hello, Juanita.
I want to stay here.
Do you guys like trash them? Like, do they get no respect? The calendar boys? the oil. There is something dumb about men in a calendar, just some oiled man leaning on rocks.
Not the one I have in my room. I'm telling you.
Hi, Juanita.
Hi.
It's like more people.
I'm about to have a baby. Oh, God.
Let me see your beautiful body.
What's that?
I want to see. Look.
I'm covering it by dressing like B. Arthur, but I'll try to show you.
Okay.
You have to.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Beautiful mama.
But she has gestational diabetes like you had.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you had it too?
Right? Yeah, I had it 3 times.
So wait,
Out
so
of 4 pregnancies, I had it.
oh, that made me feel better because I was scared because I'm like, I don't want to go to, you can't go to any more checkups now. Like doctors are trying to do sonogram on video. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. You can't.
Oh, you test your own blood? You test your own blood?
Well, we have to do the pricks, but
Yeah.
then I got this weird patch on me. Isn't there a sadness to that?
Oh, wow.
Why are you wearing a patch?
Because I don't want to prick myself 4 times a day. So, and then he accidentally pricked himself. He was trying to do it for me. So then he started bleeding. It was not good. So this thing just goes in your arm all the time. And you just like check yourself like a monitor. Yeah. Like I have some,
Wow.
yeah, all I do, I eat a slice of pizza and then I see if I'm allowed to.
So, all right.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's nice.
Yeah. I need one of those like right now.
So my wife thinks that we're having a phone call now. She kind of doesn't realize that podcast is going on.
Juanita, you look very pretty.
Oh, you too. I missed you.
Oh,
I haven't
God.
seen you in a while.
I'm sorry. I want to queer off with her.
Rachel and
Can we edit
Juanita,
that
what does
out?
it feel like to have gestational diabetes? Do you get chills when you're low on insulin and stuff? Like, what does that feel like?
It feels kind of sexy. It's kind of a sexy diagnosis. And it's like even more fun right now. Like I'm just feeling really pumped about just being married to a fireman in Corona in the heart of New York and kind of having an extra high risk pregnancy. It's just kind of sexy, I guess. Hot. Yeah. On trend.
But the thing is, Rachel, don't worry, because apparently one of the side effects of gestational diabetes is you have beautiful children.
Oh,
Yeah, look
she
at
is
her.
pretty cute. Pete, you want to ask any questions about having a daughter? A little foida?
What
Do
do
you
got?
know if it's a boy or a girl?
Yeah, we're having a baby girl,
Wow.
Hey.
Oh,
and we got to move
Daughters
to
are
a
the
new
best.
apartment in this whole
Ultimately,
meantime.
ultimately
So that's
brother.
going to be interesting. We can't find anybody to like any professional movers, so we'll see what happens. And then I got to do a lot of installing like cribs and all that stuff, putting everything together. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
What a
And you got to
time.
deal with my mouth, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we can wrap it up if you guys are if you're out of gas.
What a time to have to go through that.
No, I know it is
Yeah.
insane. But yeah, I mean, like he's getting an MRI for his shoulder, and I'm hoping it comes out rancid because I'm like, I don't want him back in this. It's tough, you know. He just came out of it, and I'm just hoping he can stay on medical leave and not splash corona on us.
Yeah,
But,
Pete, if you went back to work, would you have to go to the firehouse and be around a bunch of people and then go to fire? See, like, would it be all of that?
Yeah,
You
it's
can't work
all
from
that.
home
So like,
as a firefighter.
yeah, I know.
yeah, so like you'll see guys like on certain runs, they'll have to like quarantine up. And
Can I
it's,
fight my fires from home, sir?
Yes.
yeah, we'll zoom it. We'll zoom it out.
Just zoom into the fire.
That's it.
Everybody's so
Yeah, so they have to like certain runs. You got to quarantine. It's like a disaster out there, man. It's like I don't know. It's
Yeah,
a
but hey,
strange,
listen.
strange times. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's
At
great.
least
They
the
have
trucks
to
get
take their
to move
temperature
around.
when they first come to the firehouse and all that. It used to be like anybody could stop by, talk some shit. I brought Dumb Jusk out of the firehouse, but now it's like it's on
Jusk
lock
out.
and everybody's a little antsy, right? Yeah, it's pretty.
Yo,
nuts.
but people out there don't care, man. I was in BJ's and people are just walking up on you and picking up like this
Yeah.
shit is crazy. And then
Did you guys-
we got into an argument with this one guy because we were picking up bananas and he came like really close and he was like, Jesus. He was like, Jesus, what? I was like, really? Really? I need to explain to you why?
Do you
He said,
wear?
"Well, I have a mask on."
Yeah, I keep away from everybody the second I go anywhere, and I keep hand sanitizer in the car the second I get in. I clean off my lottery tickets. I clean off my hands. Everything gets cleaned off. It's just.
Yeah, I was really nasty before.
Do you wear the mask?
I have an old Halloween Nixon mask I wear. I just ordered masks online today. They're gonna come between May 18th and June 9th. I swear to God, I ordered 3 boxes of 50 masks. Even though we have the first day I went out, or one day I went out and I put on a mask. And then I didn't realize it was a dust mask for when you're cutting wood, and I'm walking around with a mask in case anybody's infected with dust. And and Bonnie made some masks, but I just don't go near people when I go out. And then I go to self-checkout all the time, So, I mean, look, you got to get food and, whatever. You have to get food. That's the main thing.
Yeah, you can order it too. But when I wear the mask, it feels like you can't breathe. And the real ones, it's like you're suffocated. Like, I don't know how you wear the masks in the fires. Is it hard? Don't you ever want to rip your mask off? Not a suggestion. I love you, but but don't you ever want to rip your mask off?
The SCBA mask?
Yeah,
that's different. That's like you're wearing like an N95. That thing's the worst. You can't breathe. Yeah, our mask is good. That's like that, like, it sounds like Darth Vader. That's fine. It's just more claustrophobic.
So do you wear yours to the store?
I show with a big tank on my back, right?
No,
I
that's
just
the
want to know
problem.
why.
I can't.
I swear to God, I would.
That's the
I just
problem.
wanna
I
know-
can't get them to wear the mask because, like, with firemen, they deal with so much shit that it doesn't seem like a big deal. And I'm like, no, wear the mask for the baby. I never thought I'd start all my sentences that way.
I would be
I'm that
wearing
woman
the
now.
mask
For the
right
baby.
now.
What's
I
that?
just want to know. I want
I
to
said
know
I
why
would be wearing
Pete.
that mask right now. I would never
Yeah.
take it off.
I want to know why Pete and Rachel have microphones and stands in their house. Do you guys
Because
practice your sets?
I had to do this ad for Spotify, and they let me keep the microphone. I
Yeah,
had to do some sort of ad for our podcast, me and Keith and Amy and Bridget. And so they let me keep the microphone. So this is all I've got right now. I got all kinds of plans. I'm going to start a wacky character show. This is all I'm holding on to.
I wish that I had something.
Get up and I think I'm going to I'm going to launch something. And what do? I lay there feeding. And then I watch some Forensic Files and fall back asleep.
Maria Bamford was so ahead of her times. She did a special from her living room in front of her parents a couple of years ago.
Wow.
She was so ahead of her times because that's what we're all going to be doing now. Like
I know, you're right. She's so funny.
She's funny.
At least we can get unemployment.
Can we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How?
applied. Or my business managers applied for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to
I
get
had
my
to do it
mitts and some
myself.
extra coins.
Yeah,
I was thinking of taking early Social Security at 62 instead of 67 because I figured out whatever. I don't want to get into, but I was thinking of doing that.
Yeah, but gig employees can get unemployment.
How?
Oh, really?
How do
You
you?
have freelancers, self-employed gig employees, like musicians, actors, comedians. They can get it. They can get with the stimulus package that they just passed.
How do we file? What do? We got to go
Just
online.
go
and
online
file?
and fill it out. Go on the New York Department of Labor and fill it out. And you have to call in after you fill it out online. You have to call in. That's the trouble, though. It's like getting on the phone with them is hard. I tried all day today, but I filled out the first part.
Is that
All you gotta know
national?
is Rich. All you gotta remember is the name of your elementary school, and I know that was 70 years ago, but just try.
Look at that. Well, look at that. Oh, you got me there. Ooh, boy,
Rachel's on fire.
she's
Rachel
on
is on
fire.
fire. She's
I
doing
I know
it for
I
the
needed this
baby.
too much.
Oh, I can't even come back. What am I going to do? Talk about the green room again? She got me. I'm done. She got me. All
They
right.
gave your room color good trashing. That's what
Oh.
I knew when I first came over here. I was like, well, at least he doesn't have a girlfriend right now. They would never allow any of this to fly. The things up on the walls were absolutely unacceptable.
Really like green.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, well,
and then
this
you-
is silent.
I actually have the exact same color in my bedroom. Exact same color.
men love this color. It's true.
Yeah.
And he was trying to leave it when we rented the place. I'm like, no, it's not okay.
The good masculine color.
I mean, what if a YouTuber moves in and he wants to use it as a green screen? That could happen.
Is your place rented? Are you renting that? or are
No,
you
we
gonna
can't
sell-
rent it. I mean, he owns it, but I don't know what we're gonna do now. We gotta wait.
All right. I didn't
we're
ask
gonna
you to
have to
turn
wait.
into an old Jewish woman. I just said that's a yes or no answer.
I know
You-
that was gross.
Jesus. Is that going to be one of your? Oh, geez. Oh, he's begging for a fire. Get me the hell out of here. Something burn.
He's very flaccid right now.
Rachel, are you planning on a home birth? What are you gonna do?
No, God, no. I don't want to. I want things to be as medical and swift and surgical as possible. I'm not one of those broads that wants to like give birth in grapes. Because the way I see it is like, even if you're in a hospital, which are dangerous in their own ways right now, like I want somebody to be there if something goes wrong. I want, like if there were words that could coat my birth plan, it would be like medicine and vanity.
So Lenox Hill Hospital, you say you're at Lenox. What hospital did you get into?
Lenox Hill, but we're gonna have like a private, room there, and hopefully they keep it separate. I mean, I don't know. I believe whatever lies they tell me right now.
No, I was gonna ask. They don't have coronavirus patients there.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but hopefully it's in a separate. It's a separate part of the hospital. I mean, this is all I think about, you guys.
Why don't you drive to like North Carolina where there's like no, there's hardly any people with it.
We're not
down there.
insured
Better
over
get-
there.
You better get
Oh,
North Carolina plates because they will pull you over with your New York plate.
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you're right. You're not
They
insured.
are
yet.
turning our asses back, man.
Oh yeah, they don't want a New Yorker. That's why I tell everybody he's a fireman just to get anything for free. I'll say it on a plane. I'm like, can I have a ginger ale? He's a fireman. 'Cause at least they respect firemen. I mean, people hate New Yorkers, but yeah, I'll just be like fireman. Yeah, anything. I'll use it to get. I've got an upgrade before. I whore him out at every. Look what I'm doing right now. I'm whoring him.
I know. And he's adding a lot. You married a mime. Uh,
The
Hey,
dog
hey.
joined in now.
hey, Mike, is this unemployment thing national, or you just said it's not just New York? It's
No, it's
national.
national.
No, it's national. It's part of the stimulus package that was just passed.
My daughter the other day said, "Daddy, can I have $400 or $500? And then when we get our money, I'll pay you back." She's already trying to spend this money that we're supposed to get from, whatever.
Oh, the 1,200.
Yeah. She goes, "Can I have my 500 up front?"
Get ready for that. She's gonna suck us dry.
Oh, I got 3 daughters. I mean, thank God my other ones are old and on their own and married and with their boyfriend. And Guy, you're gonna just keep buying your daughter dresses and clothes and anything she wants. That's what you do when you have a little girl. You just melt.
Yeah, give him some advice. As much as I hate to say this, Rich, and it really pains me, you're a really good dad. And that felt
Thank you.
gross. It did.
I'm sorry. That was very chauvinistic. I want my daughter to buy her own shit.
No, really at 3 years old. I'm talking when they're kids and they're young. Listen, I wouldn't.
Yeah, get a lemonade
Here, come
stand,
on.
lazy.
Get a-
Do something constructive with your life. You're 3 already. Jesus, what have you accomplished?
That's a good point. But I just having daughters is it's great. I mean, it's just great having girls.
I don't know. I have a son and not great.
See?
Really? What makes it so great, you guys? Because it's our
Because-
first. I want him to hear it
With a
too.
daughter, you just hold them and you cuddle and kiss them.
Such
Like,
a chauvinist.
what's that? I'm a chauvinist?
Yeah.
Well, you just said you
Sexist.
what? I'm not a
You
chauvinist.
don't hold and cuddle your son?
I don't have one. I'm not going to go to my neighbors and go, can I, I have 3 daughters. I'm sorry. Hey kid, come here for a second. I don't have a son, but I just have 3 daughters, and you just watch them. They're so cute growing up, and then they lose their front teeth, and they're cute. They're adorable to have daughters growing up. I don't know. Now she's a 12-year-old monster, but she was adorable growing up, It's just,
And all kids are amazing until they develop a personality.
yeah.
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 And as soon as they decide who they're going to be, then you might realize that you don't like your child.
Her and Bonnie will sit and they'll imitate me at dinner. They'll do impressions of me. And it's like having 2 Bonnies in the house. I know every character defect I have now coming from 2 kids, coming from her and the kid. It's whatever, but good luck, having a girl. It's just going to be great. And then you paint the room and you get all the little girl stuff. It's just great. It sounds creepy, but it's great. Noam has daughters. He knows.
I have one.
I have 1 daughter. Look at her. Look, adorable.
I know. She's so
Adorable.
sweet. So
And
beautiful.
just think you're going to get a new follower on TikTok. His name is Pete.
She's getting difficult now. She doesn't listen to me anymore. She argues with me about everything.
How old? How old is she? 8?
She's 8. She's going to be 9 in December.
See that? I used to
She
work at
knows
Carnival.
stuff now.
Well, I mean, yeah, really, like I'm trying. She does piano lessons. She's pretty good. But her dad's like a pretty good musician. She would think I don't know a fucking thing. She doesn't listen. Sorry, she doesn't listen to anything I tell her. Like it's very frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good
That's
though.
their job.
But to be fair, lately she's been better. I have noticed like that. The thing with them, these kids, they resist you, and you think you're not getting through to them, but then maybe a day or 2 later, you do see them, it kind of in their behavior, acknowledging in some way what you told them. So you have to learn to just breathe.
Yeah, it's funny. My friend said that. She said that's like her favorite moment. Those are her favorite moments of being a parent, when you say something to your kid and they look like, beat it, bitch. And then a few days later, you'll see it like sunk in. It changed their way of maybe looking at something. That those are like the best.
The best thing my son ever said to me, he said one time, I said, you've been acting differently. You've been doing better. He said, yeah, I got sick of you being right. So I might as well.
The other day on Bonnie's birthday, Raina made Bonnie a birthday card, and she signed it her name and the dog's name, and didn't even put my name on it. She put Love Raina and Love Allie.
Wow.
I go, the dog replaced me on her birthday card to my wife. It's whatever. I have on my desk, I love my dad stuff right here.
That just says
Yeah.
God.
I know. I love Dad. Love
We can
Raina.
read, Rich.
Was
I
there an
know.
earthquake?
No,
When did she make that? How old is that?
she just made it the other day. No, this is, I don't know. She's probably like 5 or something or whatever.
No, it helps to think about that stuff right now. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm like, this will be a ludicrous story we tell her, and when you're a chief, she'll be in he's going to be promoted to chief soon, FDNY chief. And I'm like, she'll be in the audience and I'll bring her, she'll be on my lap in some sort of a special frock. But you got to just jump ahead, because right now shit feels bananas.
This is also on my desk when I wrote on the Oscars.
Oh, God.
I wrote twice
All right,
on the
that's
Oscars.
when it's time to sign
That's when
out.
you're supposed to end this podcast right there. When
Oh, yeah. That was a dark omen right
Rich
there.
Here's
Foster
my-
are
this is
pulling out
my-
accomplishments.
This is my new CD on iTunes.
Oh, Jesus.
Babe, can you
And
get
this
a
is
large
my candle,
knife,
it's
like
not
a really
real.
large one?
This is the weed I'm about to go smoke.
Listen, I got to run and go fix the plumbing or see what's leaking in my house. Pete, Mike, and Rachel, it's good seeing you guys again. It's like I never thought I'd say that.
It was so
Me
nice seeing
too.
you, Rich.
I miss you guys. I got a heart out, though. I do have a heart out.
Funny, I have a hard but anyhow.
I think that someday Mila may be running the comedy cellar, although probably like only Artie Fuqua will be there. But someday Mila, some of you guys are young enough. Mila might be she might be running things there.
Uh-oh.
I think you're going to do big things.
Boss
You're going to make a
lady.
big splash.
Mila, I love early spots.
Could you imagine how insane Artie's house must be right now?
Oh my God.
Wait, what you want to say, Mila?
So the thing is, when everybody's trying to say like happy things and everything, it's just kind of weird because almost everybody here, there's like a camera there and their face is there, and you could see them looking at the wrong thing. And it's like you're not even.
She's telling us we're dumb.
Not even looking at me.
All right, Mila. All right. Well, she's young. She's
She's like, it's really clear that you guys are limited.
All right, guys.
I miss you guys.
Good
All
luck,
right,
Rachel. Good luck, Rachel.
Thanks so
Bye-bye.
much, you guys.
All right. Peace out,
Bye.
homies.